Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some more techniques and tips for painting clouds. So I'm going to show you how to start off with a lighter background, which I'm going to use my cadmium orange hue for, and a little bit of white. I'm going to paint the entire background, the whole canvas this color. And then I'm going to come in one brush stroke at a time and build up some 3D looking clouds with some amazing shadows using a complementary color of light blue violet. These are both by Liquitex Basics Acrylic. You could use any other brands or any other shades of blue and orange if you like. Working on a 12 by 16 stretched and primed canvas. I've got titanium white, Liquitex Basics Acrylic. I'm just going to use a large Filbert brush to start, and I'm going to get the canvas wet. Just use a little bit of water. This is a number 50. You can just use any large brush for this step. So I'm going to come in right away with my orange. Okay, now I'm going to, with a clean brush, take some white, and I'll start adding this in and around. Not the entire canvas, you can just apply it to a few different areas. This will give us some even cooler peachy tones. It'll look even nicer with that blue violet. So after letting it dry, I'm going to come in with a Filbert brush. I've got this number 8 Filbert. A little bit larger or smaller will work just as well. I'm going to get it a little bit wet. And I'm going to take some of my blue violet here on the end of the brush. And all I want to do is start coming in with some little scoops like this. And then I'll pick up the speed, pick up this pace a little bit here. You can make your cloud any shape that you want. So you want to think these little scoops. You can go this way, or just think little half circles, and then just kind of have it fade away after that paint works its way out of the brush. Okay, the next thing you want to do is just take a little bit of water on your brush and work out some of this paint. A nice tip is to take a little bit of white along with that, just a little bit of blue. And just loosen the outline up a little bit. So get a few different shades of this blue violet by applying it just straight over alone on the peach background, and then also by adding a little bit of white. And then you just want to wiggle and blend out or scumble out the remainder of paint. This is what's going to give your clouds that 3D effect. A lot of people have trouble knowing how to achieve a 3D looking cloud and end up frustrated with a flat cloud, and this is just really simple basic steps for you guys. I've got a few different cloud tutorials if you're interested in learning other easy tips using different colors, different backgrounds. Just taking a little bit more blue now. So you can keep applying it until you get the desired color that you want. Okay, then I'm going to take some white. I'm going to start down here. A little bit of blue just to tint it. Just going to make it look a little bit more 3D, one step at a time by doing this. So see where I'm applying it. I'm starting on the peach part, kind of half on the peach, and then working my way partially over the darker area. Again, over part of the peach. Wiggle and blend it any way you like. If you're a beginner, it might be easier to use a larger brush. It all depends on how big your cloud is and how big your canvas is. So let that be your guide and not necessarily what I'm using. Okay, so now it's time to come in with the next layer. So back over to the beginning color, just straight blue, and I'm gonna add another cloud in here. So I'm gonna start layering just where that white starts to fade off into the peach. And that can give you a good indication, an idea of where to start your half circle. So where it ends, the white and the peach just meet. You'll see a little design there if you look really closely. So that's how you know you can just start coming in and where to apply these. Now you could approach this painting just in black and white using the exact same techniques. I'm going to switch over to a larger Filbert brush so it's a little bit easier for me, and I'm going up to a 16. I'm going to pick up my white now, tint it, a little tint with the blue, partially on the orange peach and on the blue. You can work it up a little bit if you want. Place most of it right here and then just kind of softly blend out. Depends on how soft you want your clouds to look. When needed, pick up just a little bit of water. That'll help release the paint out of your brush. That's the only thing I use. I don't use any mediums. I just use a little bit of water with my acrylic. I'm gonna take a little bit of water again, thin this out. And then I just want to go back into a little bit of blue. And add a little bit more of an outline to some of these. So this is one of those fail-proof tutorials. Just follow these steps one by one, and it's just simply dark to light. So your outline is your darkest, and then you're just going to start to slowly add a little bit of white and have it get lighter and lighter, and then have it fade out, thin the paint until it blends in and disappears into the background color. And I've taught this to a lot of my students over the years, and they found it to be really, really helpful. So I'm happy to share these now with you all on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start my next layer. So the Filbert brush can be really helpful for this type of painting because obviously it's already got that shape, the half circle. Gives our clouds that bubbly look. I'm gonna come in here and add another few layers around the side, just so I can demonstrate even more for you guys. The more you watch me paint, it's about repetition, so you'll learn a lot by continually watching the steps. Okay, now I'm going to take the white. I've still got some blue in my brush, some white and some water. I'm going to sneak back here and add a little bit. Just adding a little bit of water now to thin out and work out the last bit of paint to my brush. Okay, so as this dries, we can come in and add the next layer. Tint the white again. Remember, we want to have it darkest on the outline and then have it look brightest mid-cloud like this. Then it'll just work out and fade away. Now we could add more and more layers easily. There's so many cool looking clouds out there. So when you see these ones that are have so many layers on them. They're so dramatic and have a lot of depth. It can be a lot of fun to paint too. It's kind of like painting flower petals. Flowers that have all those layers to them. I'm just getting that paint on the very tip of my brush. You can even add a few little wiggles. You don't have to have the same size of scoop. You know, you don't want it to look like a perfect scallop. I'm going to have it a little bit messy and off-centered in some areas. You don't want it to be predictable, otherwise it starts to not look as natural. Okay, I'm gonna add another layer or two. Oops. Just come right down low with this one. And this time I'm going to add the bottom. I'm going to go just right around here with the blue. Again, wiggle that out. Come around the side here and add a little bit more. Just because it seems like something's missing there. Just want to have a little cloud. Okay, then I'm going to go right into my white. See how pretty it looks with that peach through there? Just gonna catch a little bit of that blue off the end and pull that in. Gonna do the same over here. Oh, got a little bit of blue there, but that actually looks all right. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more to the top of the cloud. Take a little bit of white. See, it's never too late to come in and change the shape of your cloud if you want to. Okay, I'm just going to go over the top here. So the more white you add, the less see-through your clouds will look. And that's what I'm going to do right now, is just demonstrate that, what it'll look like when you add more. And that way you can see the comparison. I'm just going to take a little bit of blue and white, more blue than white. I'll just come around the edge here. And then what I'm going to do is add a thin blue and white layer over the peach. There's a few different brushes that you can use. I'm just going to use this really soft mop brush. It's a 1-inch. I'm going to get it a little bit wet, and I'll take my blue, a little bit of white, I'm going to start coming in and twirling my brush around to let that paint out. Take a little bit more blue, a little bit more water. Then with a little bit of white. And it's up to you if you want to get a little bit more of a cloud effect back here. I find these mop brushes really helpful and handy for all sorts of things. Most of the time you see me using them dry without water for foliage in my paintings. But here's another use for them that you may not have thought about before. And a little bit more white right in here. And I'm going to go back for a dry one, a clean dry one. And I'm just going to soften out any harsh lines. And just for a little bit more depth, I'm going to take a bit of blue and I'm going to layer over part of the clouds on this side. And just bring in a little bit more blue here and there for some depth. So you can layer over or filter over, whatever you want to call it. And maybe a little bit more right in here. Depending on how much white you have underneath, it'll change the tone. We'll just add a little bit more depth right in here, or shadows. Now it helps to have the right type of brushes, and these are really nice. These are just makeup brushes actually, and I bought them not for painting. I bought them for applying my makeup with a few years ago, and it was because they're just really pretty handles. And they looked really soft and nice to use. And what happened was I ended up not having my regular mop brushes on me when I was somewhere else painting, and I had these, so I decided to give them a go and try to use them and see what I could do with them. And so it was by total accident that I discovered how amazing they are. And a lot of my students, a lot of you guys have been getting these, so if I happen to forget to leave the link below, they're on Amazon. They're just iridescent, crystal handled blending makeup brushes. And I've got lots of links on our Facebook group and Patreon. Add a little bit down here. So as you can see, you can really build up a lot of depth in a painting in a short amount of time with only a few colors, a few brushes, and a few brush strokes. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one and that you learned a lot. And give this video a like, leave a comment below letting me know what you think and if it helped you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon in another video. Bye!